Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Monday, June 2nd, 2025. I'm going to start with the weekly chart. The big takeaway from this image is not so fast. We had a buy signal, intra-week buy signal, above this low 350s resistance last week, 351.39 to 352.60, but we did not close the week above it, and I do stress the importance of the weekly settlement. Until we close above this area, I see no compelling reason to anticipate 514.97, say, by the end of the year. We could fall away. Now, is this a sell signal? By one measure, it is a sign of weakness. When and on the daily chart, you can see you've got the descending two-thirds speed line. This is a Tuesday. Is that Tuesday? Yes. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's right. Tuesday of last week. Last week was a short week. We pushed through, settled above everything, including the speed line, only on Friday to come falling back and close below everything, the speed line and those levels. This also kind of underscores, the importance of the weekly settlement. So if you're a longer-term position trader, 3 to 5 weeks out plus, it does underscore the necessity, really, of the weekly settlement. 352.60 is that former 2-year channel top that we did close above last November. That, in my opinion, was part of, obviously there were fundamentals involved, the election, etc. But 488.53 missed this 5-year channel top by a narrow margin. It's at 514.97 now. And if we close the week Friday above 352.60, then yes, we're anticipating it. We never were fully on board with 514.97 over the last week or so, unless we actually closed Friday above 352.60. And so if you did go long, obviously falling back below 349.23 was your indication to exit that long trade. Now, in terms of developing bearish momentum now, because I've said how this is, by one measure anyway, a sign of weakness. The rejection of a long-term buy signal, which did occur on the daily chart. It's the weekly chart, though, that we use as the final say on that matter. But the rejection of it, even on the daily chart, is a sign of weakness. But is it enough to play the short side? I think that comes into play with a settlement today, now Monday, below 342.06. We've got this rising channel bottom. That is your momentum shift to the downside. So if we close below 342.02, I would have a 3 to 5 week objective, could be in as little as 2 to 3 weeks, at 274 even, rising channel support. And so, can you buy 342.02? I think certainly you can as a day trader, and even as a 3 to 5 day swing trader, because bear in mind, I'll take you back to the weekly chart. We pushed through that last week, but did not close above it. And as long as, and this is kind of the flip side of everything I just said, as long as we hold above 342.02, close above that formation on a day-by-day basis through the week, that holds out the promise. The promise is a strong word, holds out the clear possibility for a settlement on Friday above 352.60. And then we would anticipate bullish continuation, possibly by the end of the year, to 514.97. And on the way up, we would have meaningful tests as outlined last week. 383.76 is a 5/8 upside Fibonacci from the December high to the more recent April low. 427.01 is the low of the high. This would be, once again, kind of a 1 to 2 week objective. Then can you say that 383.76 is a 1 to 2 week objective now above 342.02? I don't think you can say that, no. But what I think you can say about 342.02 is it certainly, as long as we don't close below it, does hold out the possibility of settling Friday above the significant lower 350s. And if the two combine, in other words, we hold 342.02 into later week and then settle Friday above 352.60, then we're in a long-term buy signal, wherein, once again, these upper price points become near to midterm objectives. So, I don't know. Let's see. Let me start with this chart, or move on to this chart. I'm sorry. If we do break or open today below 342.02, 322.30 is in reach, and that's right about here on the chart. So that would be a healthy sell-off. If there is a phrase, that would be a meaningful sell-off. If we break or open below 342.02, 322.30 in reach. All the minor points, by the way, have been carefully chosen. And if we settle today below 342.02, we should this week, within 3 to 5 days at the most, test 313.79. Now, I've reduced this to a session containment level. We had it as 3 stars, but I do think that under the scenario, and I'll walk us back again, of having pushed through but not closed above 352.60 last week, and on the daily chart of having closed above this area, eliciting a buy signal, at least on the daily chart, and then closing back below this area. If you combine that then with a settlement today, for instance, below 342.02, I'm not interested in aggressively pursuing 313.79. I think it's a solid 3 to 5 day swing trade to the downside. We might even get a 3 to 5 day bounce. So yeah, under that scenario, could be a 3-star support, but I just want to keep it light because I do think if we close below 342.06 today, for instance, 342.02, it is this 274 even channel bottom that we anticipate by the end of June or sooner, where we could bottom out into July, possibly through July, and round up again. It would be, and this is the big picture, can we anticipate, do I even show it? Yeah, I do. Can we anticipate in the coming months, continued sell-off into the 160s 5-year channel support? And I don't see that as even worth mentioning or considering unless we close below this 274 even a channel bottom. I will also just kind of point out, and you may have already spotted it, that 274 even channel bottom is rising. And as we continue into the second half of June, it's in the 280s. 280s, you've got this weekly channel top at 284.93. And so this area will combine to be, kind of a solid midterm support region. That's why I don't think that if we close below, we already have, I don't think if we close below this 342.02 that it means longer term bearish continuation. I do think it means more near to midterm, 274 even, rising over the next couple of weeks to actually converge with the channel top that we find on the weekly chart at 284.93. And that'll be an important area of support. As I say, could contain selling into July, possibly well into the third quarter. It would be a settlement below this level, 284.93, combined with the 274 even channel bottom that would then tip the market south as we move into the third quarter. Long-term support in the 160s then expected within a couple of months, where we could actually place a good low through all of 26. So I think I've kind of broken it down for you pretty well. If we close today below 342.02, I see no good reason to stay long Tesla, not only through the rest of the week, but really through the rest of June as that 274 formation becomes a 3 to 5 week target. Until then, we're kind of in this gray zone. We've got a failed buy signal on the daily chart. We just don't have a go with sell signal on weakness. That would be below 342.02. And so until then, if you're interested in buying the market, you can buy it at 342.02. Then you exit with a settlement below 342.02. And if you buy it at 342.02 later in the week, you want to see the market close above 352.60, and then I think we'll see continued gains as we move into July trade. 383.76 likely within a week or two at the most, 427.01 by the end of July. And that's kind of the way I see it. Please click like, share, subscribe. Please check out wickedstocks.com. Take advantage of our 5-day free trial. We offer 2 stock picks last week. Last week was a short week. We offered Micron that is still very relevant. You can see it all for free, including our daily triple Q and SPY analysis, our weekly Apple stock analysis, by going to wickedstocks.com and taking advantage of our 5-day free trial. I'll be back tomorrow, of course, with Tuesday's Tesla, and you have a great day.